I am paging Dr. Chanda.
I am the
Dr. Chanda.
And I'm a licensed clinical psychologist.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Paging Dr. Chanda podcast, all things related to the Black culture.
The doctor in front of your name.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You are now tuned in to the Paging Dr. Chanda show. I'm your host, licensed clinical psychologist, Dr. Chanda, your favorite psychologist and your mental health bestie. And you know, we talk about psychology, real, relatable, and practically on this show. Today, we're talking about love. Valentine's Day is here, y'all, and whether you're celebrating or side-eyeing the holiday, this episode is just for you because we are unpacking relationships, love languages, and what makes relationships truly last. And to help me break it all down, I have a very special guest today. I am joined by none other than Dr. Tartt, who is a clinical psychologist and relationship expert who has been helping couples build strong and healthy relationships for years. You've seen him on CNN, Essence, and everywhere that Black love is celebrated. Dr. Tartt, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. How you gonna be the favorite if I thought I was the favorite? I didn't know. No, I'm messing with you.
We both the favorites. We the two favorite psychologists.
Hey, listen, we can work together. And I appreciate all that you do in the profession and bringing me on the show. You know, I'm always gonna support my sisters.
Yes, definitely appreciate you and your time. So we often start off the show by talking about a hot off the press segment. And so basically we like to identify some viral topics going on in the world from a relationship and mental health perspective. And so I wanted to bring something to the table. So before we get into this Valentine's Day content, we got to talk about something that had the internet in a chokehold. So there was a clip of an influencer, a woman on a podcast saying, and I quote, "If a man asks you how you look without your hair done and your lashes or makeup on, that's an immediate attempt to humble you." And so listen, when I say people had opinions on this, social media was divided. So I want us to break this down a bit. Doc, what do you say about this? What's your perspective?
I don't know what he's getting at, you know? I don't know what he's getting at by asking that. But what the reality is, what we're really talking about, the bigger issue, is relationship skills of men. Do men have enough relationship skills for modern day relationships and marriages? A lot of men talk about the obligation of a relationship, the obligation of a marriage, the covenant of a marriage, and that is, of course, important. But what's missing is the ability to make the woman, your wife, your fiance, your girlfriend, happy inside of the relationship, not just her being appealing to you. There has to be mutual satisfaction, mutual investment, and we have to make sure that we're the best partner for one another. Those are the three things that are actually connected to a happy relationship. And a lot of men don't know that. They think it's more about them versus we.
Wait,
Or
can you say
us.
those three things again? What was that? I got to write this down.
All right, so just break it down. 'Cause, you know, two psychologists talking, right? So, psychologist by the name of Dr. Carol Rusbell says, what makes people want to stay married? Like, so when people are in happy marriages, what's working? And then people in unhappy marriages, what's not working? They found three things. One, look at a couple's marital or relationship satisfaction. Are they both saying, hey, I'm an 8, I'm a 9, I'm a 10, you're an 8, I'm a 9? All right. Or is one saying I'm a 10 and the other is a 2? This is what we see with the hot button statistic that 70% of women initiate divorces. It's not that women want to break the household. It's the fact that men are not focusing on mutual satisfaction. All right, number two, what's the level of investment in the relationship or marriage? Is it just the woman or just the man that wants to improve the communication, intimacy, faithfulness, sense of connection, fun, consistency? Or is it just one, or are both of you equally invested in saying, no, I'm a part of this. I want to make sure we have the best marriage too. And then the third one is brutal. Are we the best partners for one another? Right? Can you support me better than any other woman I would be with? Can you be secure with someone like Dr. Chanda having a national platform and you not having a national platform? Can you be secure and would another brother be totally encouraging and supportive of that? Are we the best spouses or partners for one another? You have those three things in the right direction, you're going to have a strong relationship in marriage.
All right,
A
well,
lot of
you
men
just
don't
gave
know
me
that.
some, say it again.
A lot of men don't know that. How would we? A lot of men are coming from this obligation. Well, grandma and grandpa stayed together, but you know from looking at the studies, depression was record high. Where was grandma going? She wasn't working, right? It's not like today where women out earn men, according to the recent statistics, especially within the African American community. So now women have options. I don't need to stay out of fear of being poverty. I don't need to stay just and suffer and we know from statistics that a toxic relationship takes anywhere from 8 to 12 years off of your life. And people say, I'm not dying, excuse my English, for nobody. You just, I'd rather just leave Future, no disrespect, and go on to Russell Wilson, right? I just rather exit that. Yeah, if that could add to my life, I don't need to stay in a situation where you don't want monogamy. I get it, but let me go to someone who does, and let's build together and write some
Wait,
children's books.
Doc, you said it takes 8 to 12 years off your life by staying in a toxic relationship?
Yeah, so you know this. So what's the stress hormone?
Yeah.
Cortisol. And so and then add if we're talking about African Americans, we're talking about brothers and sisters of the African diaspora. So there's a stressful world going on right now, especially right now. So I have a stressful world, and then I come home to a stressful, toxic environment in my home. That cortisol that dumps into our bodies is what breaks our bodies down, right? And so it takes 10 years anywhere from 8 to 12 years of cumulative stress takes years off of our life, right? And so people says, I can't deal with that. I can do bad all by myself, right? I can heal. I can have self-care versus being in a relationship that where unfortunately one partner has no interest in making sure that we have mutual satisfaction. It's all about him and all about her versus all about us or we.
Wow. Well, you came in hot already. I'm gonna have to agree with you. I'd rather much rather be with the Russell Wilson than the Future. So, and that's that's just the way where I am in my 30s right now. So, going into this Valentine's Day topic, Doc, I definitely want to get your perspective in terms of where you see people are, right? So, a lot of people might be dreading the holidays. Some people are looking forward to it. I'm wondering, do you see like there's a difference in couples that you see, a difference on how people might value the holiday, and does that cause a rift in their relationship?
Number one thing I see is does your partner like Valentine's Day? You hear a lot of mostly men saying, I don't want to celebrate Valentine's Day because it's commercial. And there are women that certainly believe that too, right? Where it becomes a problem is one person wants to feel special on that day, and the other one is just simply looking at the commercialization of it. A healthy couple is going to say, well, you know what? I don't really want to buy into the commercialization. But if this makes you feel seen, heard, loved, cherished, especially if you're in a work environment or a school environment, right? Like my oldest daughter is at Howard. I'll send some to the mail room, right? So she can have her chocolates and her flowers, right? Walking around campus. If the woman that you're with likes to celebrate that, and let's be real, there are men who like to celebrate Valentine's Day and feel special too.
Absolutely.
If your man feels that way, then shouldn't you be in tune? It's called attunement. Shouldn't you be in tune with what he wants, and then you all come together to create a day that is meaningful for you all? And people say, "Oh, Valentine's Day should be 365," but is it? Come on now. Are you really getting your spouse flowers? Are you really getting the best restaurant reservations? Are you really cooking dinner and candlelight and getting cards? They don't even sell Valentine's cards all year round. Now, if you're able to do that, that's cool. But the whole goal is, especially with how much hate there is, and I'm just gonna say it, disrespect and under love of our sisters. I'm just being real. I have two daughters. I don't care what y'all say. I don't care if y'all say it's simple. I'm married and I have two daughters and a son. So of course I'm gonna take care of the women in my family while y'all be single. All right, y'all can take
Period.
your red pill and keep pushing. All right, but for me, I'm gonna make sure that they're good so that they can feel loved and cared about.
Absolutely. And that sets the foundation, though. Like you said, like it helps them to know, like, this is the standard for how I should be treated.
For sure, because when you're dating, you need to understand that you have value. And then, if we talk about biblically, it says, "He who finds a wife finds a good thing and gains
Preach.
favor in the Lord." And biblically matches economics. Can I talk to my brothers, right? So you saw George Fraser come out. He talked about the marriage rate in the African American community is the lowest of all races in America. First, we have East Indians, 94% marriage rate, household income 104,000. Next, we have Chinese Asians. All right, Chinese Americans rather, 110,000 household income, marriage rate 70%. Next, you have Caucasians, marriage rate 50%, household income 88. Then you have Hispanics, 65,000 household income, 60% marriage rate. Here comes African Americans, my brothers and sisters. We're at 34% and declining, and our household income is
Wow,
only 55,000,
that's
right? So,
mind-blowing.
brother, when we come together and we build with a talented sister like yourself, think about it, right? And you all build and you all grow and you're able to have two incomes or support balance. If it's one income, someone else is able to encourage you and hold on other things. You're able to have two inheritances if you're blessed, split household expenses. And if I can be real and talking about affluent African Americans, they're taking one income that we're borrowing from Nigerian culture, we're borrowing from Asian culture, where we're taking 1.5 of our income. So all of mine, half of yours, and the other half we're investing. We're buying real estate, stocks, crypto, buying businesses, right? We're doing things to build wealth together.
Hmm.
So when we start looking at marriage as an asset, like you start looking at that woman as an advantage, not an option, then as men, we're going to be able to build and we're going to be able to grow and we're going to have more economic power as well.
Looking at marriage as an asset and not just an obligation. I love that. I love that for us. I definitely want to hop more into the love languages because I've heard you talk about this before, and it's really just mind blowing hearing your perspective. So love languages, because that is something that it really changes how we connect in our relationships. And I find even working with couples that sometimes there are varying differences on how they communicate with one another, which impacts overall how they interact. So we have words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. And specifically, my question to you is how important is it for couples for each other to know their love languages of their partner?
Well, Doc, it's not just about the love language. It's about the love language that your partner wants to receive. Like
Yeah.
and know that it changed. It changes. Like I used to be like gifts. You didn't say that one. That's the last one. That used to be the last one. My wife bought me this shirt, and I didn't even say thank you, Doc. I'm not gonna even lie. I was like, oh, this not my size, right? I don't really wear stuff like this, right? I didn't even say thank you, right? And I felt horrible, right? But now my number one love language is gifts. Give me something, right? Like, and give me the gift of the spa. It's stressful out here in these streets, right? So give me the gift of the spa. You know what I like, right? So I'm okay with that. And so we have to be in tune with what our partner needs. It's a lot of times we give what we want to give. So I'm great verbally. So I might want to give words of affirmation. But
Hmm.
Doc, you might like quality time. You might like acts of service. You might want me to cook, right? Well, I have to give you what you want and desire if I want you to feel most loved, right? It can't just be, well, this is my
That's
style, this is
good.
what I do. No, 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 no,
Yeah.
no. We have to love each other in the other person's love language so that we can be aligned and we both can be mutually satisfied.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, two people with different love languages can be successful. You just have to know what that
Of
other
course.
person needs.
Well, Doc, you know this. The research shows that opposites attract. Couples are more dissimilar than they are similar. Yeah, one person that wants to spend, one person wants to save, one person, you only live once, the other person, let's be cautious and let's go by the book, spontaneity versus, structure and planning, and the combination makes you richer all the for it, all because of it. But when we have different love languages, it just means you're different. But the goal is to be able to move and be in tune. We call it attunement with what your partner needs. So if I know you need words of affirmation right now, right? Like maybe you were laid off because of DEI, you were a federal worker, or you were in the FBI, or you were over diversity and inclusion in your company, and you're having a tough time in the job market, and I know you respond to words of affirmation, you know, I need to do my best to be able to do that. A lot of times we're rewarded for effort. Or if you're like the typical man, bump all that talk, make love to me, make me feel better. If I know you need physical touch, we can talk later, right? Touch me, affirm me, make me feel good, build me up. Then I need to be able to do that if I'm going to be the best partner and spouse for you, and vice versa.
What would you say is the biggest mistake people make when trying to show love to their partner that doesn't receive it well?
Right. I think a lot of times we don't ask our partners what would make you happy. All right, and let me give you a cheat sheet for men, because men we say we're good, and a lot of times as men we feel guilty even saying that we need something in relationship. You ask us how we doing, we say I'm good, right? I'm blessed and highly favored, or I'm all right, right? I'm okay. Let's focus on you. But if you really want the man to open up, ask him on a scale of 1 to 10. Hey babe, on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you with your life? How happy are you in your life and with your life? Right? You'd be surprised how many men will say a 3, a 5, a 2, a 6, right? Because when you open up, it's called motivational interviewing, men will open up. And so we need to have the language to be able to say, how happy are you in this relationship and what do you need? And the second thing is communicate
I
it through
like that.
feeling. Like feelings, like if I say I feel bored, us not going out to eat. I get it with budgeting and all that good stuff, but I like ambiance. I like a change of scenery. I like good food. I like decor. I like entertainment. I need that to be happier. That's a lot more powerful when I say I feel bored and I'd like to feel a sense of excitement and joy than we need to go out to eat versus, staying. So we have to communicate how we feel, all right, more than what we think. See, I think we should stay in. I think we should go out. It's not gonna go anywhere. But if I say I feel bored, not like some excitement, you're gonna be much more open to that. If I just say, let's just go out. That way we're talking about feelings because we do care about each other since we're in the same relationship.
But that's so good, Doc, because I do find that when we are communicating, again, we're communicating our thoughts. Like, well, I think, blah, 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 or whatever, as opposed to communicating the feeling. What gets in the way of that for a lot of couples, being able to communicate their emotions to their partner?
Nah, where are men taught emotion? All right, this is called emotion coaching, right? We spend a lot of times as psychologists working with relationships and simply teaching men how to communicate emotions. And I'm talking about my brothers, but I can't tell you how many of my sisters have never had emotion coaching. They were not fortunate enough to from a loving household. They were not fortunate enough to come from with a father who's verbal, who asks how you feel. Right? A lot of people are like, how you feel? My parents never asked me that, right? No one asked me how I felt. They told me what I better do. Children are better seen, not heard. If you want an opinion, I'm gonna give it to you. We hear all
That
that.
part.
If I want an opinion, I would have given it to you. So we have to teach emotion coaching. And that's especially for my brothers. And that's where a lot of brothers I feel are unfairly set up to not do well in relationships, and where we as psychologists have to do a better job. Matter of fact, there's been a mandate from Dr. Arthur Evans, who's a CEO of the American Psychological Association. He's pretty much told us we better do emotion coaching starting in 6th grade with boys if we want them to be able to relationally be able to keep up emotionally with women so that we can have better relationships. So we have to teach men how to use feelings to communicate in addition to thoughts. And then men are going to be a lot more powerful and they're going to have the ability to speak up and communicate versus just shut down.
So what I'm hearing you say, Doc, is we need to stop saying things to our boys like you need to man up or stop showing those emotions or stop crying like a little, like we need to stop saying that because what we're doing is we're suppressing their emotions and their future ability to connect in relationships.
Yeah, it's that toxic masculinity, right? Now there's a
That part.
mix. So it's kind of funny because as a man, you do need stoicism, right? If I'm going square to square with another man and he hurts my feelings, he talks about my mama, I can't let him know that it hurt me. I gotta say, that's all you gotta say. That's it. You don't talk about my mama, I'm supposed to cry or something. Now I might be crying inside, right? Right? My mama might have one leg, right? And you just say your mama had one leg and hop around. She might be disabled. That hurt my feelings, right? But I can't show that, right? So what we actually have to do is give men flexibility. There's a time to be stoic, right? But there's also a time to be open and vulnerable. You need to be open and vulnerable when you're in a relationship so that she can feel you, so that she can see you and she can behave like she feels and sees you. So we have to teach men how to
Yes.
be vulnerable. Matter of fact, Doc, we have to trick them. When I do workshops with boys, I say, how many of y'all feel like, how do y'all feel when society tells you that you can't have feelings? Right? Your girlfriend and post on TikTok Y'all just broke up and she posted with another dude on TikTok and she posting selfies and all these guys are commenting under her page. How many of you are upset that society says that you can't have any feelings about that? You're just supposed to be okay, right? How many of you
Yeah.
like the fact that you're supposed to just be robotic only because you're male? All right, your mom might have passed.
Yeah.
You might not have done well. You might have gotten benched in sports. You might not be on track academically. A business idea may have failed. Your best friend might be an op, right? Right, and betrayed you. But you have to be stoic. How many of y'all think that's fair? Right? And you'd be surprised how many men. It's not fair. Or I have the same feelings as anyone else. So when you do that, you kind of trick them. Now you open up for a workshop and say, all right, well, how do men express emotion? How do boys express emotion? Is there a way for men to be manly and communicate? Because a true man is able to be a king, and a king is able to keep the queen happy, being able to keep the family happy, and being able to command territory that you're in charge of. And so that means you need to have a skill set of being stoic when you're going toe to toe with an adversary or another king, but still come home, right, and be soft with your wife and your children. A good king is able to be versatile and use those tools as they fit. That's what we have to teach our boys and, quite frankly, our grown men.
Period. Look, I love that you threw the grown men out there because, well, I'll just leave that alone.
No, no, come on. No, I'm playing. I'm playing.
Right. So, in this era, I know we're wrapping up. We only have a few minutes left. People are talking about red flags. And, Doc, I'm wondering, what would you say are some green flags that we should be looking for in relationships?
All right, ladies, if you're looking to see if a man is marriage material or if you're younger, relationship material, there's one thing you need to look out above all else, right? And it's called influenceability, right? How influenceable is that man? If that man says, you know what, I'm open to how you might feel. Now, I'm not going to do everything. I'm not going to be a do boy. Everything you ask for, I'm not going to say yes. I have to exist in this relationship. But men who are influenceable, who go into relationships and say, all right, it depends on what you say. Like if you want to see a romantic comedy and I want to see an action movie, I'm willing to consider how badly you want to see this movie. Right? If you've had a rough week at work and I've had a great one, I'll defer to you. Right? I'll defer to you. Or if you feel like we really need to go to this marriage retreat, oh, shout out, look at a weekend for love. We do a marriage retreat, a weekendforlove.com. All right. We need to go to a marriage retreat to improve and upgrade our relationship. Hey, I'm open to it because I'm out of ideas. All we doing is arguing anyway. So I'm open. I'll take a look, send me the website, send me the cost. And if it's something that seems to make sense and it's going to make us better, let's go. That's what you're looking for, influenceability.
Influenceability, the ability to be influenced and flexible.
Think about it. Isn't
Okay.
that the essence of a relationship? Right?
For
How you
sure.
gonna go into a relationship and say I'm not gonna change? Chanda, I haven't even met you, right? How am I gonna go in and say I'm not gonna change? Right? I have to go in saying I'm at least gonna change 50%. Even on a base level, I'm willing to do rock, paper, scissors, shoot if we disagree, so there can be some fairness so that this relationship is not too much about me, narcissism, self-centeredness. It's also about you. We're able to blend, we're able to come one flesh, one mindset, and move together as a unit. I only get 50% of the vote. You get the other, and then we're gonna combine and decide how we're gonna move as the Tarts.
I love that. I love that. So you're dropping so many gems. I heard you mention that you have a class that you teach for boys as well, and I know you have a book. Can you tell us more about some of the things you have going on so we can support you?
Listen. If you're in a relationship right now, you're married, and you're looking to take it to the next level, I want you to go to aweekendforlove.com. Aweekendforlove.com. We bring couples from all over the country, pour into their relationships, give you clinical skills, but in a fun, boutique, I'm not gonna lie, luxury environment. It's gonna cost you a nice little chunk of change. If you like nice stuff, you like the VIP stuff, this is for you. It's not for everyone. Don't get mad at me. Nice stuff costs money, right? And we're gonna give you everything you need. It's like a marriage intensive, but it's fun and in luxury,
I
all
love
right, to make
that.
it fun. Look at A Weekend for Love, or if you're a single woman and you are looking for relationship coaching, you're like, I like this. I just need another man to be able to bounce ideas off of. And my wife is always a frequent guest, so you can get a real wife's perspective on how to date in these lean mean streets. Go to ringformula.com. Ringformula.com.
So you got something for everybody. You got stuff for the married folks and folks in relationships and for the single ladies. And we're not just getting advice from the unmarried. We're getting advice from your wife. Like,
Right, right. Well, as you know, only 1% of African American psychologists are, it's only 1% of us, right? And then I'm also a minister. So that puts me in the point right? Of people that want faith-based, practical, clinical, stuff that actually work with faith and works. So, being a psychologist, I think it's only 3% of African American women are psychologists. We have to be all things for the culture, right? So yeah, I try to do what I can to improve relationships, marriages, and families. That's the primary focus. And also check out drtartt.com if you just want the full diaspora of what I offer, because I am a servant and I obviously I enjoy talking and teaching. So
I can tell that you enjoy teaching the people and helping people to get to their next level. Doc, we definitely appreciate your time. I know you got a hard stop at 1:30, so we definitely respect that. You're welcome back anytime, though.
hey, I'd love to come back. Thank you for what you're doing for the culture, Doc.
Thank you for coming through. All right, y'all. So today's conversation was full of gems. We talked about the viral debate on humbling Black women, the importance of Valentine's Day, love languages, and green flags. Dr. Tartt, again, thank you so much for joining me today. Before we go, where can people find you? So he already talked about that. I'm just reading off the script. So to all my listeners out there, whether you're celebrating Valentine's Day or skipping it, remember, love starts with you. I'll catch you next time on Paging Dr. Chanda. Stay safe, y'all. Take care, and I'll see y'all next week.